Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gina Marie Agderian. I am the author of The Faceless Woman as well as The Letters in the Old House, both available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. I will have a link to purchase the books in the description below. So today is another episode of Book Talk. If you're new here, this is a series where I talk about a book that I recently read, what I liked, what I didn't like, and ultimately help you determine if you would like to read this book. So today I'm talking about Murder at Holly House by Denzil Mayrick. And this is kind of an odd story. I was in the Starbucks in my local Barnes & Noble, and they just so happened to have this book on sale for like $5. And it was right before Thanksgiving. So I figured this would be a good Christmas read, and I would, it'd be kind of like a cozy mystery read that I would enjoy. And oh boy, I was really wrong. Now, I really feel bad about this review because I looked up the author, and unfortunately this gentleman has passed away. He was a British author. So this does take place in England, and I feel horrible, but I really didn't enjoy this book. I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 5. I now understand, I guess, why they had it on sale for $5 at Barnes & Noble, but it just, oh boy. So it's really about this detective who kind of reminded me of the Walmart British version, or the British Walmart version of like Leslie Nielsen's character in the Naked Gun franchise, Frank Drebin. It was just, he got himself into all of these pickles, but they weren't funny. Like when Leslie Nielsen gets into pickles in the Naked Gun franchises, it's hysterical. This just wasn't funny. And I think it's partially because I'm not British, I'm clearly American. And so I don't necessarily understand the humor or the jargon of, or like the dialect within certain parts of England. He would say certain things that I think were supposed to be funny that kind of went over my head. So if you are British and watching this, you may have a much different take on this than I do. But it's about this policeman who he's a detective, and he is transferred to a different department temporarily because this guy just can't get his act together. And when you read about all of the issues and all the write-ups he has, you're wondering how he's still employed by the police department, but that's a whole other story. So they move him over to this other department, and then there are some murders that happen, and he has to help figure out who done it, who murdered these people. And it just, like I said, you kind of figure it all out in the end, but I found this book to be incredibly confusing, very confusing, in fact. It just fell really flat. The characters, there's one American character, and they make a lot of digs about Americans, which was kind of annoying after a while. It's funny the first time, and then just the digs and digs and digs, just, it really was not funny. And I don't get offended easily. I wasn't offended by it at all. But it just wasn't funny. If it was funny, different story. It just wasn't. This is also not, contrary to what you might see on this cover, it is not the cozy Christmas mystery that I was hoping it would be. You could probably read this any time of the year. It's more of, I guess, a winter story because it does take place during winter and right before Christmas, but there's nothing Christmassy about this book whatsoever. So if you don't observe Christmas, or you are reading this at a different part of the year, this isn't like a super Christmassy book at all. In fact, they barely mention Christmas a couple of times because it takes place during Christmas. So there are different characters, different people in the town. It's a tight-knit community. It's a tight-knit town. Everybody knows everybody. The main character, and Frank Grasby, that's his name. The main character, Frank, is considered the outsider. He has a really bad relationship with his dad, which ties into pretty much absolutely nothing in the story, if I'm being honest. I feel really horrible because, like I said, the author did unfortunately recently pass away. But if you're British, or you enjoy British humor, or you understand British colloquialisms, which I do not, I'm an Italian American from New Jersey, so I don't understand any of it, but you might, and you might enjoy it. I did see on Goodreads after I read this book, I did read to see, like, did I miss something? It's probably just me, and to some extent it probably is just me. But there were people who were saying I'm British and this book was even too British for me, where, you know, people who are actually British were just felt it went really, really heavy on British colloquialisms and sayings and words that are just not super common at all. So fell flat, but if you're looking to give this a shot, they did have it at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if it's still available at the time if you're watching this video, but nonetheless, I did want to talk about it because it wasn't something that I was super engaged with, and I really had to push myself to read through the rest of it. So Murder at Holly House by Denzil Mayrick. Let me know in the comment section if you read this book or if you plan to read this book. And as always, guys, happy reading.